Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the video review of ToyWorld TW-T05 SHINEBUG, this otherwise known as Not Goldbug. This figure was picked up at BigBadToyStore.com. The figure itself comes in this very, very large box. I mean, the toy itself is not that big, but it comes in this giant box. And there's a reason why it comes in a box this big. The figure comes with two very large feet, two combiner hands, and this giant cannon gun. Now in the combine mode, it does look pretty darn cool. The gun, that is. But with the little robot mode, I mean, the cannon is bigger than the freaking car, and it's taller than the robot mode, which we'll show you that in a little bit once we get him transformed. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, at Baltmatrix, you will have already seen most of the set combined. I also picked up TW-T05 Sideload, which is the torso. This guy forms literally the backpack of the combine mode, along with the other three that I've already reviewed. We are waiting for the last Throttlebot, or not Throttlebot, to be released. So that guy is called Expressway. He hasn't been released yet. So here's hoping it comes out soon. So if you go onto my Twitter channel or Twitter stream, you'll be able to find the pictures of the combine mode missing an arm. Shinebug's alt mode is really actually very cool. It is modeled after a Mini Cooper Coupe and looks fantastic. My only real complaint with this mode is the fact that the paneling here on the windows and on the rear roof are, they're rough. They're really rough and they don't hold together and stay in one place very well. And you'll see why when we get into the transformation. But otherwise, it's a fantastic alt mode and works perfectly for the character. I know I said his alt mode is pretty small, and it is, but here it is next to the current Bumblebee figure from Transformers Robots in Disguise. This is the Warrior class version. They are wheel to wheel, so you can see that he is a little bit smaller, but the alt mode is in line with the current Warrior class figures that you'll find on shelves. Shinebug has a very fiddly transformation, and I'll be honest, it's not very much fun. It's more of an annoyance than anything, but I do appreciate the results we get in robot mode, so let's go ahead and get into it. To start off with, we're going to reach onto the back of the vehicle's roof and just pull the rear of the roof up like that. Come to the front of the vehicle mode and actually get your finger above the wheel arch here and kind of wiggle the headlights and the roof off of the vehicle mode like that. And then lift that up and lift that entire front of the roof of the vehicle out of the way. Now that we've got that open, we can come into the inside of the vehicle mode where the windows are and actually unpeg the doors and fold them down. And just be a little bit careful here if you have this figure, as the windows have a tendency to pop off of their hinges very, very easily. So what we're doing is kind of a reverse gull wing. Then we can fold the windows into the inside of the doors, come to the front of the vehicle where the wheels are, just behind the doors, and pull down to extend the robot legs. And then we can take the figure and kind of turn the front of the vehicle 180 degrees. Slightly standing the figure up, we can reach underneath the back end of the vehicle and pull off his muffler, which will become his gun. Put that off to the side. Split the legs apart. Come to underneath the wheels and fold that section down as classic Bumblebee feet, and then reach inside and flip out some heels. The heels are much needed. Come to the front of the bumper and slide the bumpers down to create feet. Unfortunately, they don't lock into place at all, which I would greatly appreciate. Now coming to the doors, what we're going to do is actually fold them back behind the legs and then fold them flush. And they don't really lock into place. They just kind of swing freely a little bit. So we just get them kind of as locked in as we can. It's going to be a little bit fidgety, but we'll just deal. Coming to the rear end of the vehicle while it's standing up, we want to kind of just gently wiggle the side panels that are just behind the doors away from the rest of the vehicle mode and fold them straight out. That will then allow us to grab the rear quarter panel and flip that down and away from the rest of the figure, like so. Then we can reach in here and flip out the shoulders like this, and these are actually very, very tight joints, these just little hinge joints here. And we can swing these down and away from the rest of the bot. Reach the back bumper and trunk area, and this is where things get a little bit silly. Fold that section down, the bumper part, or the rear or bottom bumper, and then fold the trunk so that it's open, and then we can flip up the robot head and then close the trunk again. So now that we've got the head deployed, we can work on futzing around with the backpack. And the way the instructions have it is that you're supposed to just fold the back sections like that and just leave them alone for now. But that doesn't make any sense to me. So what I would like to do is just fold them around and down, and so they're out of the way like that. But we'll go with what the directions show. Now we take the front of the, or I should say the hood and front windscreen, and flip that around to the front of the robot mode, like so. And then we take the front hood and actually fold it out, and you'll see some hinges in here. So we kind of just slide them in, fold them up and in, and they will latch into place, and then collapse this whole section up onto a Shinebug's face, pretty much, while flipping this section out. This will actually peg into the rear of the hood, and then this whole section will fold up and should just snap right into place. However, there is a little bit of an issue. There's not enough clearance between this H right here and this section here. And the reason for that is because these pins aren't put in correctly. So you just kind of have to wiggle it in and force it into place until it snaps in, and then you get a cohesive chest. Now for the arms, and this is where things get really, really interesting. First, fold out the fists. We do that on both sides. And then take the entire panel that is behind the fist and fold it down until it snaps into place with the section that will become the forearm. Then we take the tire section and fold that up. But the tire section is actually pegged in, so we pull it away and then flip it around so that it will actually fit underneath the forearm, like that. And then we can slide it down and fold it down into place. And we'll do the same thing here. Fold this section down, peg it in, unpeg the tire, swing it around, and then flip it up into place. Oh, I didn't swing the tire all the way around. There we go. And then fold it down. Shinebug in robot mode is actually pretty darn posable, but you do have to be aware that some things will get unpegged, and the doors you have to constantly slide up and down on their pins in order to make everything work correctly for certain poses. But you can pull off some okay poses. My only real complaint has to do with the gun, where that is one hell of a big handle on that gun. Overall, though, like I said, it works really well. The overall aesthetic of the figure is good, and he's a lot of fun to play with in robot mode, even if things do have a tendency to come apart and have to be, reassembled. It is a bit annoying, not gonna lie. But again, height-wise, he's about the same as an RID warrior class figure. Here he is standing next to Bumblebee transformed. Overall, he stands a lot better than Bumblebee, but it does still feel like a very small figure considering the complexity of the engineering involved. Shinebug also has some fantastic light piping. You get the nice blue visor look going, and it works very, very well for this figure. And oddly enough, Shinebug has no problems holding the giant menacing Death Zuka. He holds it with utterly no issues. I'm really pleasantly surprised with this. My figure does have a slight quality control issue. As you see there, the thumb is broken and about to fall off, so it makes holding anything in his left hand very, very difficult. I can glue this back together, but it is going to take some time and some skill, both of which I am completely and sorely lacking in. So if you do decide to get this figure, just be wary that that thumb is either going to be broken when you get it, or can break very easily. The other issue I have with this figure has to do with the rear of the vehicle mode's roof. It just kind of sits and flings around with no want or reason. There's nowhere to peg it in, and it just kind of sits there. It's my only real complaint to the figure and the transformation. Just, I don't like the fact that this doesn't peg in anywhere. Overall, I am very pleasantly surprised with SHINEBUG. It is a fantastic third-party figure. Yes, there are some minor little issues, and he is very complex, and that's just the way third-party figures are. But I think ToyWorld made a fantastic figure here, and if you haven't been collecting the Not Throttle bots, I think you really should, because, like I said earlier, their combined mode, which is shown up on my Twitter account, is really freaking awesome. So guys, as always, I have been Baltmatrix. Ask you to like, comment, and subscribe, and please be sure to check out my next video review.